my lunch break, and I just wanted to jump on here and make a video really quick. This is about, evaluating employees and listening to, concerns and addressing issues. I was thinking about when I was at the farmer's place, and I remember when I would accomplish something and how oftentimes he would, never directly thank or acknowledge me. He would, thank the team when the team wasn't even doing it. It was really me. And then it wasn't like I was trying to get him to ignore anything that they did, but they didn't contribute to what I was doing. I was doing all of it. And instead of giving me the acknowledgement, I'm assuming that he was doing this because of my family, and he didn't really, maybe he didn't understand or whatever, but the fact is that this is a part of the mobbing process, and slowly but surely it led up to, escalated into what it ended up turning into. But the thing is that, I know that everything that improved over at that farmer's place was because of me. And so it makes you wonder how in the world something like this could happen after accomplishing so much. How is it that I could be in a situation like this? This has a lot to do with the jealousy of my family and their desire to manipulate my employment. Because obviously if you are somebody who accomplishes a lot in the workplace, you're supposed to be able, and especially when he gave me a letter of recommendation, okay? I received a letter of recommendation, but yet there was a system being put in place to undermine my accomplishments. And I would like to reiterate the fact that, everything that improved over there at the farmer's place was because of me. So my concern is that, I could produce so much, but yet get no recognition and then be put in a situation where I'm basically struggling. That makes absolutely no sense. I should be moved ahead instead of being demoted. That makes sense, right? But, and what I wanted to say in the video called The Elephant in the Living Room is that when he hired Landry had no prior experience, okay? No prior experience. He walks into the farmer's place and basically looking for a general manager job. The farmer gladly gives him a position even though he didn't have any experience, and then but yet he expects me to be fully qualified and capable to do my job right when I get there. Now Landry went to training. The owner paid for training for all of us. It's like $6,000 for all of us to receive training, and then he paid for Landry to receive training to handle the inventory, because that was Landry's responsibility. Landry screws up the inventory while fucking his employee, okay? I just wanted to throw that in there. And yet Landry is working another job. Now, it just goes to show you the injustice that goes on in this situation. It was really important for me to keep my accomplishments, keep record of them, to know what I was able to contribute so that I could build my foundation, so that I would have, something to fall back on, because that's all I had. I didn't have, money in the bank. I had to rely on my skills and my skills alone to make it, okay? So obviously everything that I accomplished was basically ignored. So I was shocked when I would go into places agencies, and they were automatically offering and ignoring the fact that I had management positions for the last 10 years. They were offering me things that really weren't of any value. Now, some people would say, well, why don't you just take the easy way out? Why don't you just go get married or something? There is something, people abuse me. I've been abused by my family. The very fact that who I am puts me in a position to easily be abused, okay? That's one of the reasons why I want to be self-sufficient. It's very important that I take care of myself, because people could easily hurt me, and they don't see it, and then I shouldn't even have to justify it or explain it. I need to be in a situation where I can take care of myself for this very reason, okay? I don't want to be abused by anyone else anymore. So, getting married is not a priority of mine because I need to have my own financial stability. That's just the way it is. I will not get married ever again. That is not something I ever want to do. I have no intentions of ever getting married, ever, because I don't trust anybody, okay? I have never met a person who has ever treated me, that made me feel safe, okay? So because of that, the answer is no. That's not something I really want to do. Unless, of course, but if I do find somebody down the road, then that would be my choice. But at this point, I am concerned about my own safety. So, it bothers me that they manipulated my employment because that was important. Those accomplishments were very important, and I felt as though they were monumental accomplishments because it's something that helps build your skill that you could say, hey, you know what, to the next employer, this is what I've done, so I can move and advance to the next job, so I can show them my worth, so that I could, continue to build and, get better positions, and that way I could secure my future. Whether I was to meet somebody or not, I would still get married. Why? Because he could leave you, he could do whatever, and then you're left with nothing. So that's why I encourage all women to take care of themselves, okay? I'm not saying, you have to, but I have to be careful about people. I have to, because I understand human nature more than anybody. So it's important, to have something to build upon. And so when I wasn't getting credit for my work, it wasn't because it was about arrogance. It wasn't because of vanity. It was because that's my future. That's my future. That's how I'm going to be able to take care of myself. Those little accomplishments I can show to the employer and say, I can do this, 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 and this, and that way I know that I can be advanced further so that I have money in the bank and I can make sure that I can at least have a proper burial. There is nothing wrong with that, okay? It's not about arrogance, and that's why a lot of managers fail too, because they don't know how to properly evaluate employees. They have no ability. They don't keep a track record. They don't, they base it on stupid stuff, and that's not what it's supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about, okay, sure, you want somebody who strives for accuracy, of course, okay, but you also want somebody who's going to contribute and do above and beyond. And I did above and beyond over at the Farmer's Place, okay. I could have myself been the general manager easily. That's not what I was trying to do, but that's what I could have done, okay. So in Landry's case, where he basically receives training and then screws up the inventory, and then he goes right out and gets another job of his choice, and I'm sitting here working jobs that are absolutely of no value. That's wrong, okay? I shouldn't have to be demoted. I'm supposed to be promoted. That's what I'm supposed to be. It doesn't matter who I'm married to. It has nothing to do with that, okay? And yes, eventually I will get a divorce, okay? Right now I'm in a situation where I have to secure employment before I actually leave. I can't do anything about that. That's nothing I can do, okay? But still, I'm in a situation where it's completely unjust, okay? I expect to get full credit for what I've done, and I expect to be able to present that to an employer so that, and I already have a letter of recommendation. It's already signed by him, okay? And I'm sure everybody in California knows who I am. They all know who I am at this point, okay? If I'm being shut out, they know who I am, all right? So all I'm saying is I'm not trying to stir the pot. My point in that video, so I was trying to make, because I was really tired, the elephant in the living room is, let's point out the obvious fact that there's a situation in place that is preventing me from moving on. Let's point out the fact that there is a situation in place that is obviously showing preferences towards racism. Let's also point out the fact that Steve Murray collaborated with my family, my sister Lisa probably, and a few other deviant people to try to hold me back and prevent me from moving on. That's against the law, okay? So I have every right to apply for the jobs that I want to. It's not about arrogance. It's not even about prestige. It is about finding what's comfortable for myself, and it's also about doing what's best, what's compatible with my skills. That's the way it is. I can make as much money as I want, okay? You can't sit there. My sister's jealous, okay? She's the one who ruined my life. She's the one who got me, made me quit my job at Organized Sports, so I had to start all over again. And I had to leave a lot of things, little things I did have behind, okay? So these people are ruining my life. They're abusive, okay? And they're not only did they try to ruin my life then, they're trying to ruin it now. So no, I'm done with that, okay? I'm not asking to hold positions that, like, certified public accountants are holding. I'm asking to say, you know what, hey, I have the skills to be either an office manager, someone who, I could run a company. That's easy. I understand I fully could run a company, okay? But what's wrong with being an office manager or a full-charge bookkeeper or being a department manager? Nothing. There is nothing wrong with that at all. I have all the skills necessary and required to do that, and it's enough money to allow me to live on. That's realistic, okay? That's completely realistic. And to sit here and try to demote me just because I don't have a 4-year degree is absolutely ridiculous. You know, there's a lot of people who jumped right out of high school and are doing what I'm doing right now. And they continue to work in their positions, and yet somehow or another, I'm the one who's the other. You can apply for jobs that request a bachelor's degree. That is completely legal. You can do that. If they ask you about it, you know what you can do? You can explain your situation. Things are usually negotiable, okay? The very fact that I can do what is requested on a job requisition shows that I'm qualified. Plain and simple, okay? And there's a lot of people who come directly, they graduate, they got their 4-year degree, they go and they apply for a job, and I've been told by several employers that they end up screwing up all of their books, okay? So it's a form of harassment, and it's wrong, okay? And like I said, when I first moved here, that was never requested on any of the job requisitions, okay, bachelor's degrees. So, and like I said, I had an employer, I worked for several employers who had no college at all, okay? So it's bullshit. So what bothers me about the whole situation, the elephant in the living room, is he hires Landry with absolutely no experience, then he bends over backwards, gives Landry the training, and Landry fucks up, and guess what this white man gets to do? He gets to move on and get promoted. That's bullshit. Bullshit, okay? And here I am. I may have humble beginnings, but I went in there and I kicked ass, okay? Did a lot for his company, worked my ass off for his company, went above and beyond, and then I'm getting offered bullshit, and then you're going to sit here, manipulate my job, and then create a harassment issue, and then wipe your hands of it? That's bullshit. That's my point, okay? So no, bullshit. I have every right to pursue what my goals are, and it's not about arrogance. It's not even about prestige, because you know what? I look at some of these people who are driving around in company cars, and they got all these perks. Do I deserve that? Honestly, yeah, I do, because I have a lot of worth, okay? Am I asking for that? No, because I know what a cutthroat world it is, okay? I know how unfair it really is. I think what I'm asking for is actually less than what I'm worth, okay? And that's bullshit, and I think it's at least realistic to pursue that. So anyway, I'm going to wrap up this video, and I will be back with another one when I get home for the rest of the day. Take care. Bye-bye.